Hey everybody, my name's Tim Raveling. I'm the co-host of the Serial Ludo podcast, and I'm here to play some Crusader Kings 3 with a new update from Crusader Kings. You can basically play as an unlanded person, so you can play as a traveler or a merchant. We're going to try playing as a group of Viking mercenaries in the 9th century, so let's kind of see how that goes. I think in the next few weeks we're probably going to be talking about procedural narrative and sort of emergent story and stuff like that. And even though I have some problems with Paradox games, I think Crusader Kings does a lot of stuff well. So, first of all, I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to pick Rogaland because my great-grandma's father was from here, so as good a place as any. I'm going to create a ruler, a landless ruler. Could pick one of these guys. I think these are just anyone kind of around the world, so I'll create my own adventure. Alright. Maybe a Satru. Maybe a Bai. Norse. Pick some random names. Sorkvir. Otar. Gudmund. Solva. I liked Torbrand. We're going to customize our dynasty. Bahavi dynasty. I'm actually fine with that. Let's see if we can get a good. That's kind of cool. I like that. Nice. Alright. So we have our dynasty and our sort of coat of arms there. We're going to adjust our appearance a little bit. Fine with him looking like a Viking. Doesn't have much effect. I'll leave him kind of on the shorter end. The neck. This is all a little too much for me. Looks nicely Viking-y. This is honestly so extreme here. That's fine though. Let's try to make him a little bit more angular, I guess. Alright. Pretty good. Eyes. Oh, that's crazy. Alright. Okay. gonna make him a little sort of suspicious looking. Fine with dark socket 3. Nose. Give him a little bit of like a broken nose kind of deal. This is honestly a crazy amount of customization here. It's kind of cool. I haven't actually used this too much. Alright, good enough. Hairstyle. I want to go on the darker end. So we have all these different sort of cultural hairs here. I do have the Norse flavor pack, so I can kind of pick some of those. That's kind of cool. Alright, going with that one. Classic. That's kind of cool. I kind of like that one. Okay. So that's our guy. That's going to be a mercenary leader. So we're going to say he's 25. He's just kind of come out of it. It's his sort of main trait. Education. What does this do? So if he's a tough soldier, this means he's been a soldier, martial +4, experience +20. That could be a skilled tactician, martial +6, +30. Let's do that. Personality. Just, arbitrary, brave, arrogant, patient. Wrathful is kind of tempting. Let's go with that. Wrathful and, let's say, lustful. Get into some trouble here. Other traits. I could be a schemer. Better at intrigue. Novice physician is probably not the worst, but maybe we can hire somebody. I could be a drunkard. You can see over here the points. Some of these are negative, like being a drunkard, so it actually gives you more points to spell on other stuff. I don't know that I really need a lot of stuff in here. I would like to pick something. Berserker, huh? That's what I want as the, leader, peasant leader, aggressive attacker. I'll go over that one. It's Reaver, raid speed. I'll just go with, aggressive attacker. Oops, not that one. This one. Okay. Got pretty good martial already. I'm going to say my prowess is going to be quite good because I need to be able to personally be able to fight. Stewardship is okay because I need to run this company. Not very learned. Not very diplomatic, but a little bit better. Let's put that up to 10. Entry, let's say 8, just enough to use this, and then put the rest of our points into just being very good at actually fighting. that a little bit. You can see here I'm trying not to go over 400 because if I go over that, you can make a character that's better than that, but then you can't get any of the achievements. Which I don't know that I care that much about, but I just think it's nice to be balanced. Alright. So that's our character. Here we are. Master Torbrand of the Flail of Javi, 25 years old. No player air, difficulty normal. Alright, let's do this. The path ahead stretches on and on, a lonely winding thread twining towards the distant horizon. My camp is quiet, just a few scattered tents and pack animals yawning in the breeze. Strangers and hangers-on rise with the day, preparing for their morning chores with reluctance. Most of the miscellaneous chaff that flit in and out of a group on the road with each new settlement. Few faces catch my eyes, ones I recognize, at least in more than passing. So you can see here kind of my intentions. So I can actually create like a mercenary army. I can sort of intend to conquer something and take it over, or maybe, you know, embed myself or work my way to the top. Or I can just get a couple people who are good at fighting. And I think that's more my vibe right now. I'm not like a mercenary company. I'm just a couple guys who are good at violence, and presumably we'll get hired by some unsavory characters. So I'm going to get that one. Alright. So. Crusader Kings 3, this is my first time playing in this mode. I've played Crusader Kings 3 a bit in the last few months. In sort of the normal ways, but this is my first time playing a landless adventure. So you can travel around, you have a camp, you have followers, and you have patrons, which are connections and things like that, right? As an adventurer, you're not tied to any one piece of land, instead having the freedom to travel the world. Your base of operations is a camp, which you can upgrade and expand with camp upgrades during the course of your career. You can gather followers, which kind of work like the courtiers of landed rulers. When traveling as an adventurer, you have the opportunity to utilize the Scout for Talent travel option. You can also acquire new followers by taking the Visit Holding decision. In camp, you can view your followers with the button in the top left corner of the panel. Primary sources of income will be contracts, like this. Abduct foe, interesting. You can see them represented as scrolls on the map. Contracts can be found all across the world and require you to complete a specific task for an employer. Okay, so we got to get more famous in order to get better jobs, and we can access new contracts by moving the camp, which will take provisions. So I have 25 provisions, so I have enough food to go travel somewhere else. You can view details about your camp in the Realm tab. Alright, camp level 1. The tribe of Jadar. There are wonders. Embarkation cost is minus 50. Freebooters. You can be criminals, apparently. A little tempted to actually just become a criminal. However, I'm not very good at intrigue. A lot of these criminal things seem to take intrigue skill, which I'm not incredibly high at. I'm more just a violent guy, so I'm going to take this decision. Swords for hire. Lord of Power, accept contracts to move your camp. You can still choose the future of your dynasty. If you stand the road, try to gain a title in a distant land, which will sort of let you move into the government of a different country, or meddle with affairs of rulers across the world. Alright. Cool. Hired muscle. Okay, now I think that's what we're doing. Well, let's just see what else is on here quick. So we can find contracts. Work is dried up. Moving your camp is the easiest way to find more contacts. Travel a decent distance from your old campsite to ensure new opportunities when you arrive. Here's an example of a destination a fair distance from your current camp location. So I'm currently here in the Rogaland, and I could move up here to Vingelmjörk to get far enough away to sort of get new jobs. Navigate to the move camp view. Alright. I don't actually want to travel up there right now. I'm just going to skip that one for now. Lifestyle chosen, so I'll pick the martial lifestyle, obviously. Alright. I'm going to pick the Valor lifestyle. Alright. So Valor allows me to do better at martial schemes. It gives me advantage in battle, +10, better men at arms, and more experience per month. Looks like I start out with this, I can declare war easier, which I don't know, I actually don't know if that matters in this case, because I'm not a state. I can move faster, and I can go over the ocean faster, and use siege weapons faster, better. Alright, so what I would like to do, first of all, and I have no player air. Okay. Well, if I die, that's the end of my line, which is fine. Maybe we'll make some babies along the way. Alright, hired muscle. Sellswords of good repute. Well, we've got... Who do we have? We have two dudes who are... This is prowess right here, this little sword. So this guy's 21 prowess. He's actually even better than I am. This guy's 25. So we got some super badass dudes and who don't really know how to do anything else. I believe this guy's an okay steward. Officers, personal physician, caravan second, and bodyguard. So I'm going to take this guy, who is my level 25 guy, will be my personal bodyguard. And my second will be the other guy. Complete a martial scheme. Urgently seeks discreet swords for hire for a short posting. Handsome reward offers for swift, clean work. If we win, we get some money, 70 bucks. We improve our standing with this chieftain. We get some food, and we get added to our role of patrons, which lets us kind of give us connections. Alright, let's do it. Tell to accept. So we're moving from our camp to go over here. I think I'm fine with that. I don't have a caravan master. I can appoint Bjorn though, apparently. Alright. Yeah, let's do it. See, we're sort of walking across the map here to the job position. My needs are simple, explains Kjotve. There are certain thorns in the rows of Thrimlingar, and I would have you remove these prickly characters. I can't be seen to remove them directly, so you're going to deal with them for me. I draw a thumb across my neck, quizzically. No, clarifies my employer. No serious bloodshed. Just keep them silent without killing them until they understand what it is to disrespect the chieftain. Seems simple enough. Alright, right now, we can't succeed off the bat. In other words, we can't just waltz in without having met anybody or done any preparation and expect to succeed. So, we can say let's get on with it, which gives me 2 muscles and a bodyguard agent slot. This is a footpad and lookout, so I don't really have that many people. But Okay, so this option gives agent slots that give a balanced range of contributions. This one increases success chance, and this one has a better scheme phase length. I have actually no idea what that means. Let's see what it says. Phase length is how many days it takes. So I think that means it goes faster. Yeah. So let's aim for success. We're gonna add his muscle, both of my guys. This guy does not like it because he's lazy. He'll get over it, I think. And this other guy is actually just totally fine with it. So, got 2 muscles. And we just kind of wait, I guess, for next phase to happen. So you can see 8 days until next phase. So we're carrying on. We've entered phase 2, whatever that means. Just kind of see what we're trying to do. So we're enforcing. And this, by the way, is my main issue with Paradox games, is that they have a huge amount of complexity in terms of what you can do, but they have a tendency, in my opinion, to turn everything into this sort of system of very, very surfaced sort of numbers and, you know, meters and countdowns and things like that. The narrative interludes where you actually have text are pretty cool, and they add a lot of sort of flavor, but this is actually what this is like. So I have no idea, for instance, what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm roughing people up or I'm scouting out the situation. I'm just counting a timer down. My bodyguard has been named Frody the Timid. I'm not 100% sure why. He is humble, he's lazy, he's sadistic, he's a misguided warrior, and he's a holy warrior. He's a Satru. Maybe we'll end up kicking some Christian ass later on in this campaign. Alright, so seems like we're doing pretty good. So 26. Actually, I have no idea what this means. Alright. Success chance. Okay, that's our maximum success chances. 76. So we're scheming against a count. We have plus 41% chance. We have 13% growth per phase based on my martial. Then advantages. Okay, so the keys are my number of advantages. Alright, so I need more advantages. I need at least 5, preferably more than that, in order to do this well. So let's just actually up the time here. I don't think we're being reasonable, snarks the cook, who presumably drew the short straw, coming to speak to me, waving an arm dismissively at the surrounding terrain all the while. Out here in some remote, forsaken hell forest, so far from life we can't even stock up on some of the little luxuries that make our food bearable. I sigh, weary of the conversation already. I wonder which one of us will break first. These feel like the ravings of a lunatic. I checked the stocks just this morning, and we should be well supplied for months yet. So I can choose, what are you even complaining about? Which gives me a well-provided camp. Fine, we can restock. 50%, we lose some gold and get either a lot of food, or we lose the same amount of gold and get a little bit of a food. Absolutely not. Work with what you've got. Start on provisions. Provision use is minus 5%. So this is a little bit weird to me because my provision is actually still the same. It doesn't appear to be going down at all, as far as I can tell. So I'm just going to say, what are you complaining about? Go from there. Okay. So now I have 6. Okay, seize the moment. You finalize your higher muscle against Chieftain Kyotfe. 76% success chance. Scheme spends 5 advantages. I'm going to give it a shot because I don't really want to stay here for forever. Hired muscle, success. Chieftain pays 70 gold to us, gains 30 opinion, gives us 250 provisions. You add Chieftain Kyotfe to your roll of patrons. Make progress in the Champion of the Swan decision. Scheme successful. Wonderful job, Torbrand. The Garden of Thrymlingar is blissfully silent, and I can rest a little easier at night. He tosses me a pouch of silver. Please stay with us next time you're passing through the area. I'm sure we can find suitable lodgings, not to mention suitable employment for such an enterprising and mercenary. We have a long path ahead of us. Alright. So I can only carry 2,500 provisions. An imposing man is standing on the road ahead of us. I am Heraldr of Oster Agzir. I have bested dozens of men in combat, and honestly, all those fights were dull. So here I am on this road looking for someone better than me, someone I can learn from. If you can best me in combat, I'll become a valuable and loyal servant. And so on this day, I demand to meet one of you in a fair fight. Let's take a look at this guy. He has prowess 12, not super great. I would love to fight this guy. Let's do it. So I won the fight, gained 75 prestige, so I'm a little more famous, and I got that guy onto my team. Okay, what's happening? It's been snowing for the past few days because it is December in Norway. Makes sense. And the cold is unbearable. I look around to see my entourage struggling with it as well, so I decide to travel on foot alongside them. After we walk through the snowstorm for another hour, Heraldr pulls me aside while shaking. He yelps, "Please, my liege, I cannot feel my toe anymore." I order him to take off his boot and have a look at the toe. So this is the guy this is one of the 2 that joined me originally. His toe is all dark blue already. At this point, it might be too late to save it. So, I can say I read a treatment in the manuscript once, which either successfully treats him or has a 40% chance of severe frostbite for 10 years, because he loses a toe, and then develops a grudge against me. If we keep on moving, 50% he keeps him out of frostbite, 50% he loses and develops a grudge against me anyway. So I might as well do this, because it's a slightly better outcome. And we successfully treated our companion, so that's good. Interesting. So I can petition that guy for... Interesting. So I could actually ask him for a men-at-arms regiment, which he'll give me. Alright, I'm not quite there yet, but that's actually good to know. Here's my camp. We have a pavilion. That's cool. Empty slot. I could put in supply tent. That actually might be nice. We can get some more provision capacity. I can put in a barber tent, which gives us a resistance to plagues. That's nice. Baggage train gives us some more provision capacity. gas tent. So this is actually pretty cool. So we can say roaring campfire, number of knights +1, max number of men-at-arms regiments. This seems like the thing to do as a Viking army. A roaring campfire. Alright. Now, let's see if there's any ladies around anywhere. Apparently not. Good to know, because I'm unlanded, so I can't just order a spouse off of the catalog like a medieval king can. Okay. You know what? Let's move our camp to our new friend's destination. I'm going to select a travel option of scouting for talent because I kind of want to see if there's anybody else I can pick up. And yeah, let's do it. A grotto emerges from the vegetation, like a stone arch in a cathedral. On its entry, there's a small wooden table and a stall. Someone has left a lantern burning on it. Hey, Diggs BTW. How's it going? Careful, my liege. Bjorn holds his arm up in front of my chest. There are bandits in these lands. You're quick to make accusations. A dimly illuminated figure stands at the entrance to the cave. I'm merely a hermit, and you, well, you carry the title of the duchy. Alright, I can either ignore this guy, which gives me better travel speed, or I can feel my future, hear the future, and receive a prophecy. Obviously, I'm going to listen to that. The hermit takes a second before replying. He gets up and waits until I follow. There's some herbs scattered around, and what seems to be a rudimentary bed. He turns to me when we're away from my entourage, and with an oddly deeper voice replies, "The water shall pass, but you won't." I will remember this. I will gain 50 piety, that's what this is here, and I gain some 40 stress. This is clearly like an important event in my life. We'll see kind of what happens with it. How insightful. Another danger on the road. Our road takes us through treacherous parts of Hivinisdaler. While I scan for any dangers ahead, a rustling bush grabs my attention. Could it be a wild animal? As I brace myself for impact, Bjorn jumps out of the bush instead, holding a plant. You scared me, Bjorn. Anyway, let me see what you have here. Some kind of fruit, I exclaim. Yes, it looks and smells so delicious. I wonder what it tastes like. Maybe I'll just take a little bite, he says. So Bjorn the Brave, my caravan master, in second. Hold on, I wonder if it's poisonous. It's possible that we get a rash, and otherwise it's possible we get some learning experience. Let Bjorn eat it. He gets it. If I get learning experience, and he gets unknown plant bliss. Stress loss, prowess +2. Alright. It's unknown plant sickness, which means he's not as good at fighting anymore. Too bad. He's a pretty strong dude otherwise. Too bad. Alright. Alright, we've reached our new camp, where our current patron is. Gather provisions, visit tribal holding. Let's see what that means. Tribes reporting taxes but rich in levies, prestige, and men-at-arms upgrades. Limited upgrade to potential, and while strong early, quickly dwindle in power as time progresses. So because we're playing in the 9th century, in 868 currently, there's a lot more tribes around and not as many sort of more advanced feudal structures. Okay. Right now we're going to do this contract, though, even though it's a criminal contract. The chieftain will deal with these reprobates. Alright. So this is... So this is actually against this guy. That's very funny. Okay, so I'm actually not going to take this. However, so let's actually see this guy if I can make a request to rent a knight for a men-at-arms regiment. Let's find out. Okay, so I have 100 men-at-arms I have 100 men-at-arms right now. It's actually pretty cool. So I picked up from that guy. I have 3 champions. So I'm actually kind of ready to be a little mercenary band. Let's see what we got here. I'm down to do a little escorting. An opinion. Delegation from Chieftain Roald of Thelamork saunters through the flaps of my great tent. Greetings, adventurers, speaks an envoy. Many are the roads of this world and treacherous. If you'll work for Thelamork, my liege would pay well for your expertise. I, Chieftain Ethla of Thelamork, am a most loyal servant of the chieftain. It's his words I must carry to Thrimlingar, to the hall of Chieftain Kjotve. Okay, that's where I'm currently camped. Guide me, protect me, and trust my message does not fall prey to prying eyes. We can travel swiftly in safety. She must stay your camp. All my camp shall travel to Oster Agdir. Which I'm already there. Oh. I'm brought before Chieftain Kjotve himself. You'll come at my acquaintance Chieftain Roll's behest, no? On what business? Chieftain Edla of Thelamork steps forward. Worthy Chieftain Kjotve, I speak for Chieftain Roald of Thelamork, but the message I bear is fit for your ears alone. Come, answers the chieftain darkly. We shall speak in my chambers. Master Torbrand, your service is noted. You may remain as a guest in my tribe. I should head back to my camp. Alright. Another contract down. Alright, so what do we can do? I can aid in a war. This guy wants to hire us even though he only has 46 soldiers against 1355 on the other side. It's an intrigue scheme which we don't care about. Diplomacy which we suck at. And this is a criminal contract against our own patrons, so we're just going to leave that out. And we're, I think, going to travel to Sweden, and we're gonna join in this mercenary war over here. So let's begin. As we continue through Skiring Salar, my eye catches on an elaborately decorated tomb amidst a network of common graves. The tomb appears to be cracked open, and just within its mouth I see the glimmer of an unknown treasure. None but my party appear to be around, and surely whoever once owned the contents of this tomb would not cast judgment on me for taking what was otherwise unused. I feel like I had a little bit of a scare on the road the other day. And so I'm going to respect the dead and just carry on my path. Otherwise that prophecy might come true earlier than I wanted to. Okay. I've now arrived here in this country, and I'm going to participate in this war. 915 while the enemy size says 956. So my 100 guys actually is enough to turn over the war here. So let's do it. Draw iron with the righteous. Military aid is needed in the war-torn Varma land for 86 days. It's a 0% war score, which means it's dead even. Get gold based on war contributions. In other words, how much I think we do. Let's do it. A small posse of saddle-sore riders stop by my camp, and one of these visitors enters my great tent. I am the captain of these Wermelandian scouts, and I speak for our chieftain Thorfinn, starts the soldier. I there's interest in your scrappy little band of fighters. An annexation causes the chieftain sleepless nights. Our enemy's putting up a fierce fight, so I've sent to hire your swords. Will you lend Varmeland your fighting spirit? Sounds like a just cause. I will aid him. Raise my armies. So that actually works. Looks like just like in the if you're playing normal Crusader Kings, you can raise armies from your lands, but these are just like sort of the people who live in my camp, I guess. These 100 dudes plus my 3 knights. Okay. This could be bad. These are both enemy armies. Big enemy armies. We're gonna go stick up with these guys. A figure stumbles into camp, dirty and tired, clearly in need of a square meal. His name is Oder, he says. There are more like me, he gestures off into the distance. All of us left to rot after every petty conflict ends. Our sword arms work as well as ever, but our lot is left to wander and starve. We're the only ones left who won't rob the vulnerable for food and valuables. His eyes glint with determination despite his haggard bearing. I would rather die. Let's see who he is. An old man. Looks like an old man, but he's actually only 25 years old. Good treasurer. Okay prowess. Callous, humble, arbitrary, and a thrifty clerk. Okay. So if I do this, I lose 200 food, which is okay right now. We get 25 soldiers for our army. Otter joins my camp, becomes a champion. Alright. So we're going to take our little army here. We're going to do some fighting. Which I suspect means we're going to have to try to turn this war a little bit somehow. I'm a little bit concerned about how to do that. Recruits must be enticed using interactions. So that's unfortunate. I just spent that money to increase the size, so those 25 guys I would have gotten, I can no longer get. Lethal men of arms. Alright. I can spend some food to get some guys. I'll do that. 200. this could be quite bad. We got this big army here. Alright. I'm gonna run away again. He's coming in to attack this holding here. So I'm gonna go just do some raiding because I can't fight him with 200 guys. As we trudge on the road, a building hoves into view. The battered sign outside reads the Ebon Horse Inn. No luck here tonight. We've barely room for our current lodgers, let alone anyone new. Inside, the innkeeper shakes his head dismissively, and especially not you ragtag types. We can say, I'm afraid I absolutely require lodging. $5. I'm threatening the guy. Some chance I will make a criminal act. It'll be seen as an overt threat, or I'll accidentally kill the innkeeper. That's fine. I'm wrathful, so I'm not gonna fuck around and take this guy's guff. I'm making threats. All right. Well, I have overtly threatened the innkeeper. So I don't have enough soldiers to actually do this, and I don't really know. I'm just gonna go help this guy down here. Scouting out ahead of the camp, I come across a ramshackle collection of traders. They're gathering around some large but old and ruined buildings, the remaining ones in good condition, having been occupied by the merchants. Wares are fairly standard, food mostly on a well-traveled road that would no doubt attract many purchasers. Yet my eyes drawn inexorably towards the gray, pockmarked walls of the ruins. So magnificent they are. The merchants occupy merely the outskirts, but its dilapidated heart remains untouched. So I could just get some food, but I'm definitely the kind of guy who's going to check out the ruins, so let's do that. I discover nothing. That's fine. Alright, so I'm here fighting in the Siege of Vasteros. Meanwhile, this big army over here is trying to conquer the main capital, so I don't think this is going to go well. Alright, maybe it will. So he's conquered this, but we just conquered Vastmanaland, and our war score is now plus 1%. We're just going to stick with this army and see how it goes. I find myself making such noises while sitting down at campfire in the evening now. The others always talk about how that happens when you get older, but I'm only 27. No, this is the wear and tear of a life lived rough. I can see the toll it takes on the others as well. Bjorn winces a bit as he slumps down next to me. That inn we passed had many spare beds. We lose 15 gold. I can either just tough it out, or I can go back to the inn. I feel like, you know, I like a good bed sometimes. I sit by my pavilion, letting the sound and smell of the camp wash over me. It's different from a life where the safe walls of a palace, so very different. The freedom is easy to enjoy. No obligations, no counselors yapping, no dignitaries to entertain, none of the downsides of the trappings of power. Yet these freedoms are dearly purchased. The constant scraping for survival wears thin. Increasingly, every night I yearn for a proper bed. I must claim some lands in the future. Quite enjoy this life. Best to keep my options open. I'm going to keep my options open. I still don't know what that prophecy I'd received was all about, so. Flexible leader. Enemy defensive advantage minus 50%. That's actually pretty good. So, I don't have enough soldiers to do this. I don't know what the fuck happened to the other... my allied army. What are these guys doing? no idea what they're doing. This guy keeps getting more forces. What are my options here? Well, this war is about to be lost because he's about to conquer this town. I guess that's it. Alright, so they have a 100% war score. They captured the air, and they fully occupied the this area. So I think this war is about to be over. Unlock a new martial perk. Parthian tactics. I don't actually have any of those guys. Hit and run. Retreat losses minus 25%. This actually feels like a very good one. Provisions loss minus 10%. Supply capacity plus 200. Oh, that's very good. Definitely doing that one. Alright. Well, I got paid something. $70, even though we lost. Let's see it. Disband. Okay. Well, we've assisted in a mercenary uprising. We've hired as mercenaries. War was not very well fought, but you know, contractors always complain about their clients. Let's take another export mission, and then I think it might be time to head south, perhaps. A noble envoy needs protection from bandits. Welcomes the aids of experienced travelers. Take the contract. Delegation from Chieftain Haralder saunters to the fast of my great tent. Greetings, adventurer, speaks an envoy. Many are the roads of this world and treacherous. If you work for Vestfold, my liege will pay well for your expertise. I, Helgi, am a most loyal servant of the chieftain. It's his words I must carry to Roskilde, which is down here. Alright. The Hall of Jarl Sigurdur. Guide me, protect me, and trust my message does not fall prey to eyes. So I think it's time to go. So basically, we're up here. We're going to travel down there with the whole camp. It costs provisions, which is fine. 400. We're going to scout for talent along the way. 3 months traveling. Let's do this. These are my previous allies, I think. Brody the Timid and Odor are bonding over common ground. That's nice. Personal physician. All of my followers are horrible at that. Bodyguard, that's fine. Stooge. Alright. Alright, we're safely in Sealand. I am brought before Jarl Sigurdur himself. You have come at my acquaintance, Chieftain Haraldr's behest. Now, on what business? Helgi steps forward. Worthy Jarl Sigurdur, I speak for Chieftain Haraldr of Vestfold. The message I bear is fit for your ears alone. Come, answers the Jarl darkly. We shall speak in my chambers. Master Torbrand, your service is noted. You may remain as a guest of my tribe. Nice. I wanted to see... Camp title will be given to your oldest child. Is also your courtier and does not hold any titles. If none are available, the follower with the highest prowess inherits. So whichever of these guys is best at fighting will take over as the as my heir. However, that person is not in my dynasty, which means that I won't get to keep playing, I believe. Actually, not sure that that's true. Okay, got some contracts available. We'll look at that in a second. Normally the arrow would appear here. I don't know if I can adopt one of these guys. This is the guy who's going to take over once I die. So, can I adopt a successor? Interesting. Yes, I can. Although he is Frody the Timid. So I don't know. I don't think I'm ready for this yet. I can train some knights over here. That seems kind of cool. I can hunt criminals down here. Or ambush travelers, which is a criminal contract up there. Let's train some knights first. Travel to accept. Travel to accept contract. By the time my caravan leader Bjorn comes to me with his plan, he seems to have already made up his mind. Serving with the Varangians and Guard would bring both wealth and glory. I cannot deny that part, but I could deny his request. On the other hand, would it be right to stop someone in the pursuit of glory? That's too bad. Okay, so he's going to stay with the Byzantines. Basileus is the emperor of the Byzantine Empire, and he will become a Varangian. Diplomacy +1, martial, prowess. Alright. Who am I to stand in the way of fate? Alright. Another old man offering to give me my future. Let's do it. Got good omens from the old man of the road. That's a good sign. I have lost my caravan master and second. I don't want it to be this guy. Frody, but he's already my bodyguard. All right. I'm taking Odor as my second. The caravan master is going to also be Odor. thought I could actually... The mouse guy was these, both of these things. Alright. As I arrive, I'm greeted by Chieftain Siegfried of Skans, Marshal Reffer. I'm glad you could make it. We're in need of an expert in the ways of war, as our commanders are rather unschooled. Marshal Reffer bows his head and quickly adds, at least according to our liege. Well, I would be pleased to invite you in, but my chieftain expects you to begin training immediately. Pick whomever you wish and have them armed. Let me see those men. Train knights. Interesting. Wow. These guys actually do suck. Leave your cursed tent, damn it, Ferdy. This is my spot, cries Haraldur, disrupting my evening walk. Ferdy seems unmoved, simply folding his arms across his chest. It can't be your spot if it's got my tent on it, now can it? He snarks back. Desperate for higher authority, Haraldur whirls around to me. Master Torben, please, I beg of you, discipline this wretch. I can pick a side, in which case they'll both hate me, or I can let them figure it out, which will make them angry at each other. Not my problem, they can figure it out. Okay. Train knights. Trainee. So I'm going to train someone for these guys. So I want someone who has kind of a good prowess. Which is probably going to be this guy. This guy has good martial, though. Okay. To know what I'm dealing with, I invite Urvar to spar with me. We take our stances, wait for an opening. Urvar's guard weakens first, allowing for a few but precise blows from my sword. Clearly, he's not a match for me. I stop the bout before it gets bloody. Thank you for your efforts, Urvar. I've seen enough to know how to proceed with your teachings. I could use something like this myself. I don't want that. Teaching an inflexible leader should be easy. Urvar should just follow my moves. So we have a pretty decent chance of just teaching him to be a better fighter. But what would we do if we try to teach him this? It's a good commander trait, but I think he needs to learn how to fight. Unfortunately, he can't keep up. Alright, so who's this guy? He's got 10 prowess, not great martial. This guy is bad at both of those things. So we're going with Reffer. Invite him to spar again. Not a match for me again. Teach him aggressive attacker. That seems like the thing to do. He did gain the trait aggressive attacker. This guy is just not going to do much. So I'm just going to try to teach him. Basically just going to try to teach him how to fight a little bit better. Ah, we got him a little bit better. Slightly better. That works. Paid. Contract completed. An excellent hook on Chieftain Siegfried. Reffer. Yes. Let's do some more martial work down here, perhaps. $48. Gets 30 opinion. Get some provisions out of it. Nice. Apparently I have to go home first, though. Alright. Let's go hunt some criminals. This band of Chieftain Uldric wrinkles his nose distastefully. Malcontents have been harassing my private estates. They burn, kill, and steal with near impunity, slipping away from my retainers before they can clap them in the irons they so richly deserve. I nod. The gang must be slippery to warrant such a private bounty. The leader is one Magda. Interesting. Bring me her head before she can slip away for good, and you'll have your payment. A smaller group travels faster. We move as one. Okay, I'm moving with my camp down there. Who is this person we're going up against? Magda. She is not incredibly skilled. 28 years old. She's an evil lackey, which means generous, but also very cruel. Alright. Decent at intrigue. About as good as I am, I think. I think we can make this work. We're moving with our whole camp. Apparently we have to go by land all the way out here. Alright, let's do it. Rounding the little cluster of tents as I leave the central fire pit, I come across a gaggle of followers having dinner around a small hearth. Curiously, both Haraldr and Odr are among them, neither of whom particularly enjoy each other's company. Before I have time to ponder such a strange quirk of seating, Odr mutters something inaudible, only for a whisper to send Haraldr into a blind rage. With a flash, a weapon is drawn and blood is about to be spilled. So I can intervene, in which case it's possible that they both gain opinion of me, or they both get wounded, this is more likely, and lose 20 opinion of me. I can have them duel to the death, which I lose 15 stress because I'm wrathful. In case we haven't gone over that, in Crusader Kings, your character has various traits, and if you act in accordance with those traits, you lose stress. If you act against those traits, you gain stress. So if you're cowardly and you do something violent, you gain stress, and eventually if you get too much stress, you sort of have a break and you have to do something with it. So for these guys, my natural inclination as this character is just to let them fight it out. But then of course I actually lose one of them. I can arrest them, or I can let them play this out. In which case they'll just duel anyway. I'm going to ask them to duel, I think. Odr wins, killing Haraldr in self-defense. That's too bad. But Haraldr was kind of weak. Still have my two original people. As we travel through Lubica, our caravan is stopped at a clearing bordered by oak trees. I proceed towards the commotion only to find Frodi and Odr having an irate row. Odr is just a troublemaker. I've no more of your idiocy, you abhorrent Bampot. Frodi steps his foot in the grass. You're the one who's whined on this entire journey, schooling our way there yet at every crossroads, Odr retorts. I can see why having higher diplomacy skill would be better. Just to deal with all the petty bullshit. So if I do this, one of these guys is going to leave. But I have a small chance of success. If I do this, one of these guys is going to get wounded. Almost certainly, Odr is going to get wounded. Because Frodi is quite powerful. Well, let's try for it. Frodi has left the travel entourage. I'm told that nature is venerated here in Rossesburg as an extension of the will of the gods. We watch the locals adorn an old tree and find materials and jewelry as if they're courting it. Many of my entourage are satisfied to watch from a distance, but I feel compelled to do something more. So, what can I do? I gain the trait Wise Man. I can burn the tree, which gives me 100 piety if I succeed, or join in the celebration. Let's see what Wise Man does. Learning +1. I'm happy with that. I've actually run into her closer than I expected. We first meet Magda in the rolling plains of Rana. The fellow of Havi, that's my mercenary troop, spreads out toward and around her own little band of ne'er-do-wells, all of us tensed and ready for bloodshed. Come, now let us see. Ah, there he is, booms Magda as she elbows her way to the front of the throng. The little lost lord who thinks he'll cut me down to size. Well, come then, Torbrand, here I am. The moment balances on a knife edge. If I don't act, someone else will, and everything will slip thoroughly beyond my control. I can duel her to the death, which is pretty decent chances. I have 22 prowess. She only has 5. I can ambush. Martial challenge against Magda. Decent chance I get some victory points. If I remember correctly, I get the needs 750 in arms, or I can of course hire her. Unfortunately, she kind of sucks, so I'm just gonna duel her. For a few brief moments, Magda and I pace in lazy half circles, each watching for an opening. I heft my sword ready to defend myself, while she clutches her sword firmly to hand. Only one of us is walking away from here today, and I intend it to be me. With a sudden twitch, our bout begins. Unexpectedly, Magda manages to swing a vicious kick for my shin, momentarily hobbling me. So I can say, better women than you have died trying to break my guard, which will... low chance of increasing success, no chance to risk of injury. But I am... and I gain stress because I'm wrathful. Like, my natural inclination is to just attack pretty violently. So that's what I'm going to do. Strike, parry, riposte. Expert onslaught, because I'm have a very high prowess, so high chance to increase likelihood of success, medium chance to risk of injury. Lose 5 stress because I'm wrathful. I leap into action, launching a flurry of quick slashes, driving myself hard against Magda's guard, wearing her down with each expertly timed strike. Magda tries hesitantly to launch a quick slash at me, but the blow is easily swatted away. My form is good, with only small errors, and Magda's stance is failing. We are evenly matched, with victory balanced at a knife edge. I'm gonna attack again. Doing it. To the floor with you. My sword arm moves fast as lightning and strikes hard as sundered stone. Honestly, it's admirable Magda is able to withstand as many sword blows as she does, as I rain down on her with all the fury of a thunderous storm. It takes a minute or two, but I eventually beat her into a bloody, twisted, and screaming heap. Only when I'm satisfied there will be no last-second chance for revenge do I administer the killing blow. Goodbye, Magda. So I've now killed the person I was hired to kill, the head of this little bandit here. I toss Magda's severed head to Chief Uldrich's agent, the red-purple meat landing wetly beside them. You killed her in single combat. My, how fierce, remarks the chief's servant, gingerly handing over our pay at the same time. The words are of little consequence, but the delicious weight of the fat purse and its cargo of silver help make our little hunt thoroughly worthwhile. Get 48 gold, the usual. Our little forest of tents, putting itself up every few evenings, is something we've gotten very, very good at of late. First one, then another. People with tools spreading down the lines to help their neighbors in a model of speed and efficiency. Oda and Frody, who have gently gone along in the back, seem to be especially bonding as they aid one another. A place for everything, and everything in its place. I can... Good to see these two getting along. I can help them. Spend some prestige, or I can just let them become friends with each other. You know what? I'm going to spend a little prestige and help out the camp. I understand your interest in deepening your grasp on warfare. Frody stretches as he approaches me. I might be able to help you see the battlefield in new ways. Frody is well known for his mastery of fighting infidels. If there's one who could help me understand, it would be him. I do want to lead to learn. So Frody, the timid, is very good prowess, decent martial, and does actually know, well, how to fight the infidels, I suppose. The Christians. I do want to learn. Let's go hunt some criminals. So the criminal hunt is basically just traveling through these woods as much as we can. We first meet Borivoj the hunter in the darkling forests of Circapania. The foe of Halvi spreads out towards and around his own little band of ne'er-do-wells, just as we did with Halva. Borivoj expected more, if I'm honest. Clearly the good chieftain's budget is suffering. So, shall we? Who are we against? This guy is a much better fighter than Halva was. Not a great leader, necessarily. He's also a holy warrior and gallows bait. So I could try to recruit this guy. He's got 150 men. He's a good fighter. Ah, fuck it, let's do it. He uses my delay to flee. Alright, well, in that case we gotta try to kill him, unfortunately. Okay, so this is my mentor, Frody. Can't help but notice that we're about halfway through our provisions. That is true, we're running down. Shouldn't we start reducing our rations, or even better, plan for a stop to stock up? Not an emergency yet, but these kind of situations don't take long to turn for the worst. That is true, I should probably stop traveling with my whole camp and we're just searching for bandits. Catch up with him again. Okay. He didn't want to join us before, so this time we're going to attack. So we surrounded him, he ran away, we have +1 victory points. So we need 2 to succeed. In my wanderings outside camp, I come across a clearing in the forest, rich with all manners of colorful berries adorning the bushes. They are unlike any I've ever seen before, and look so tantalizingly delicious that it would take my followers less than an hour to pick them all. Could these be a much-needed gift from Ymir, or a trick from Loki meant to test us? 75%, life is an adventure even for the stomach, or everyone gets ill. Ah, we ate poison berries, everyone in camp is ill. Not great. It seems our caravan has become a little lost in these foreign lands. Otter has been trailing us around Close Breg for hours, and though he has last followed his pride and asked for directions, he does not appear to be an expert Lakithic speaker. I'm going to try. Got lost again. Thunder echoes ominously overhead. A dull interruption to the lashing winds, and a whipping rain, working on scattering our convoy. Distant cries echo up and down the line, as carts and animals sink into soft earth, the storm doing its level best to wash us all the way to hell. Children and elderly shiver in miserable silence, soaked to the bone, wondering when hypothermia will begin to set in. The air crackles with static and tension alike, my followers on the edge of breaking. Martial challenge. Drill saves the day. Or decent chance every follower I have with less than excellent health gets hypothermia. This is my best bet, is to use my military discipline, but I don't have a lot of good options here. Fortunately, both of my followers do have excellent health, and nobody gets hypothermia, it looks like. I'm out of food. I found myself stranded with no provisions to support my march, starving, thirsty, and exceptionally weak. The goal draws near with every step, but for the first time I feel the gnawing doubt that I might not make it there alive. We've established camp. We're out of food. I don't know that I have a chief forager. Stepping outside my camp, I survey the surrounding plains, seeking any sign of game or fodder. Golniao may offer more in the clement seasons, but winter's bitter cold hardens the mud, it's January, and envelops the grassland in frost. We will not find much here. I have a prowess channel of catching things in snares, which I found some animals and got us some food. 600 food. All right. How do I resume looking for this? Move my camp. I'd like to just actually travel without it. I'm going to Google how to actually do this. Okay. Under schemes, here we go. I'm just gonna stay here until the spring. like just being good with my specific weapon. Alright. Okay, it is March again. Let's see if we can find this guy. Aha. I now have the Holy Warrior trait. So we're in theory still looking for this other criminal. And we're taking part in a war over here. So let's see. I still don't really have enough people to do anything serious here, but yeah, I think that's where we'll leave it off for tonight. So, until next time, yeah, this is Crusader.